Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Isom, number 1. This is a 2022 book from Rippaverse Publishing, written by Eric July, art by Cliff Richards, colors by Gabe Eltaeb, letters by Eric Weathers, edited by Alan Ford and Caro Brown. We start off with this woman who works at Projexus headquarters, calling Avery Silman to ask him to help find a woman's daughter named Jasmine, who's gone missing and nobody's heard from her. And he apparently works at a farm of some kind, but he goes into the city to look for this girl and confront an old associate of his from school who apparently was the last person to see her and may have gotten her mixed up in some criminal activity. Things don't go quite the way he hoped, and he ends up in a fight with some superpowered individuals. He accidentally runs into this girl, Yaira, and she apparently killed a cop, what it looks like. There's also this group called Alpha Corps, who are 3 local superheroes. It's a little unclear if they're like government sanctioned or what. There's not a whole lot about them. The storyline mainly focuses on Avery looking for Jasmine and having to deal with this local thug. He just sort of accidentally runs into these other people. And something is going on back at the farm, but that's sort of left as a dangling plot thread. We don't really know what happened there. We just see a guy go into a shed with a gun, and then it's not shown again. So we're gonna have to go to part 2 for that one, I think. But this whole thing puts a target on Avery's back, and it looks like he may be getting into the superhero game, and he may have been there once before. So this is part of an origin story of sorts, sort of coming out of retirement. Overall, the story's not bad. It's a quick read. It flows very well. The pacing's good. I think the editor did a really good job going through this and keeping the pacing pretty straightforward. Dialogue's a little rigid in a few places where Avery is fighting with this big thug. There's a little bit of exposition that's sort of unnecessary, but it's not bad. I didn't have a problem with it overall. Avery is a little bit hot-headed. He seems to take his level of respect a little too seriously, and that is why he ends up in a couple of the fights, it seems, when he should have thought things through a bit more than he did. But thankfully he does have powers of some sort, so he is able to hold his own in those fights. But it does look like part 2 is going to be pretty interesting, and I did like the book. So the art is solid overall. I didn't have a real problem with it. There's a few parts where people look a little rigid, but I've seen way worse art in Marvel and DC, so I didn't have any real issue with the art style, and it read like an older comic book. It's a good thing this was a trade paperback, because if it wasn't, reading these as individual issues instead of as one long narrative would have been kind of boring. So you kind of need to read it in a longer format so that it has time to really go somewhere. So I would have to say it was really good as far as the story and content goes. Overall, I would have to say that the quality is really, really good. The only thing that I had issue with is near the center of the book is an advertisement. You're selling me a $35 book that's almost $50 with shipping, and it's formatted like a trade paperback, and there's an advertisement for a boutique in the middle of the book. That's a bit of a slap in the face. You did a crowdfunder for a $3 million book. You're charging us almost $50, and there's an ad in the center. That's a bit of a slap. But aside from that, I really didn't have an issue with the book. I think the price is a bit high for what you're getting, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was worth a read, and it's definitely better than a lot of Marvel and DC books. My only complaint is an ad in the center of the book. So that's not even a real complaint. That's just something that annoyed me. I would like to see the price come down. Like I said, the art's fine, the story's good, and I do want to read issue 2. So I will recommend this. I thought it was good. I think the price point is a bit too high, but overall, it's pretty intriguing, and I'd like to see more from this universe. So I will be checking out issue 2 if it comes in at a reasonable price that I can afford. I think the $35 price point is a little out of my league for something that's going to be out. Even on a once-a-year basis, it is a bit high. If the price comes down, it would definitely be much more accessible. So the price point and an ad are my only real complaints. Beyond that, I thought it was a good quality book. So if you get a chance to check it out, definitely do so. It looks like it's the start of something interesting, and if they can maintain this level of quality, I think they've really got something here. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.